Hi, it's Sandy Wyllie. Welcome to my mental health channel, where I wipe away the stigma of mental illness by talking about my own struggles having borderline personality disorder. I talk about narcissism a lot. I talk about post-traumatic stress disorder, bipolar, anxiety, panic attacks, and a plethora of other, including schizophrenia, which my dad had, including a whole range of topics, including therapy, psychologists, therapists, unethical practices. I just come on here as a former patient. I am not a licensed therapist. I do not hold a degree in psychology. So I can only give you my personal opinions. Please be very much aware of that. And in return, I only ask that you be kind in the comments, be kind to me, be kind to others who comment, and be kind to yourself. We can all disagree, but we need to have respect for one another, and we need to practice kindness and compassion. Now, if you like what you see, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. It is 100% free. So today we're going to talk about a topic that I know very, very well from personal experience: borderline personality disorder. And we're going to, hone in on why borderline patients need to have high boundaries. Now, if you read the literature everywhere, they will say that borderline patients need high boundaries. Now, before, when I was a patient, I haven't been in therapy for 2.5 years. And I've been doing 100 times better, because I was sexually abused, physically abused, verbally, emotionally abused in therapy by several therapists. So I quit therapy. I'm out. And you can look at my other videos to catch up on that stuff. When I was a patient, I didn't want to have any boundaries, I was like a kid, A child doesn't want boundaries, right? A child wants to go in the store and be able to, take as many toys as they want to have. They don't want to be set any limits. They don't like limit setting. Well, neither did I. I didn't like limit setting. I hated boundaries, But I didn't know that boundaries were there for my own protection. This is, as a patient, I didn't know. After being out of abusive, horrific therapy that turned me into an alcoholic, go watch the other videos, did I realize that boundaries are there for a purpose. Boundaries are there to protect the patient. My psychologist didn't have any boundaries. He had sex with me. They sexually exploited me. Dick Geist, Jim Barbaria, Jeffrey Fortgang, William Cates, all of these psychologists had no boundaries. When I was a patient, I thought that was great. Just like a good analogy would be if a child has divorced parents, right, and they have joint custody. Ugh. My hair is driving me crazy. It's getting caught in my lip gloss. So if a child has divorced parents and they spend half the time with their mom and half the time with their dad. Now, if the mom has very strict it could be the dad. I'm not trying to be sexist here. I'm just picking one out of a hat. If the mom has really strict boundaries, the child has to do their homework when they come home. The child has to eat healthy food. They can't eat junk. The child has to go to bed at a early time. As opposed to when they go visit their dad, they can eat all the junk food they want. They can stay up as late as they want. They don't have to do their homework. Now, the child is going to... Now, what do you think? Obviously, the child is going to want to stay with their dad because, gee, Daddy doesn't tell me I have to do my homework. Daddy doesn't tell me I have to eat my vegetables. Daddy doesn't tell me I have to go to bed by 8 o'clock. I have fun with Dad. Yay! And that's what I thought with the psychologist. Oh, God, I have fun with Jim and Dick. I get to sit in their lap. I get to touch their body all over. I get to go out into the bars and they buy me drinks. This is psychologists. They're not supposed to go out and buy you drinks at a bar. They're not supposed to have you touch their body. They're not supposed to date you. They're not supposed to have sex with you, etc., etc., etc. But when I was a patient, it was like, whoa, like a kid in a candy store. All these handsome men, and I get to play with them and have fun with them and go to the bar. That's why I turned into an alcoholic. I'm just like that child, all right? I didn't know that mommy is giving me those boundaries, those limits. Boundaries are your limits, right? Because to protect you, you know, for my health, where the psychologists that had no boundaries, like Dr. Richard Geis, Dr. James Barbaria, William Cates, you know, all these psychologists that didn't have any boundaries were not protecting me. They were hurting me. So think about that child. If that child were to stay with their daddy, you know, how is that child going to grow up, right? If there was a custody battle and the mother and father were fighting for sole custody and the child picked, I want to stay with daddy. Duh! Why wouldn't you want to stay with daddy? I don't have to do homework. I don't have to go to bed early. I don't have to, you know, eat vegetables. I can eat chips and ice cream and whatever I please. I can do. No brainer, right? I want daddy. But, you know, be careful what you wish for, okay? Listen to that. Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. And what you wish for isn't always what's best for you. What you want isn't always what's best for you, right? In fact, it can end up killing you or hurting you. I'm 58 years old, people. It took me decades to get to this position I'm sitting in right now. I didn't get here overnight. I was that kid that wanted, you know, no boundaries. I wanted to have all the fun. I didn't want any expectations put on me. I didn't want any limits put on me. But I'm telling you, as a borderline patient, I still have borderline personality disorder. It's just like narcissism. It doesn't go away, or just like schizophrenia, okay? I'm going to have borderline personality till I die, okay? So I'm going to have to learn to live with my personality disorder. And I'm doing that right now. And I learned to live with it by setting limits on myself. Something that my parents never did. I grew up with no boundaries whatsoever. I went into therapies with psychologists who were unethical, who broke their oath, do no harm, who sexually exploited me, sexually abused me, physically, emotionally, everything. I'm a scarred woman because they set no boundaries. Boundaries are healthy, okay? Borderlines, patients need boundaries. You know, healthy limit setting. Healthy limit setting is what it's all about. These psychologists didn't give me any limits, didn't set any boundaries on me, all right? Because they were unethical. And, you know, I took them to the board. Now they're going to have to face, Dr. Richard Geis is going to have to face a licensing board because he severely harmed me from sexually exploiting me because he had no healthy limits. He had no boundaries. You know, and boundaries, you know, when a parent sets healthy boundaries, it's because it's out of love, not because the parent wants to be mean. The parent doesn't want to be mean. The parent wants what's best for their child. I mean, by setting healthy boundaries, not the parent that lets the child run loose and whatever, you know. Healthy boundaries are protective. Here's a case where a child almost died because the parents had no boundaries. When Alex was in the hospital, Alex had pneumococcal meningitis. It's a disease that eats away at your brain. And he was in there. Now, another boy was in that same hospital, the same age as Alex. And he had brain damage. Why did he have brain damage? Because he was run over by a bus. Why was he run over by a bus? Because this is what I was told by the nurses. He was run over by a bus because his mother had no boundaries at all. It was 10 o'clock at night. She didn't care what he was doing. He was out of the house. He was playing chicken with the cars on the road. You know what that means, playing chicken? You try to run out in front of a car and see if you don't get hit. You play chicken with the car, you know? So you run out in front of the car. If you don't get hit, you won. If you get hit, you're dead. Or you get severely brain damage, like this boy did. His mother set no boundaries. At 10 o'clock, a young child that age, 6 years old, should be in the house. He shouldn't be running in the street playing chicken, right, with his friends. She didn't care. She set no boundaries. As long as he wasn't bothering her, she could care less. And that's how he landed up in the hospital. He almost died, okay? That's what I'm saying. Boundaries are very, very healthy, okay? This is why I failed in my therapies. Why did I fail in my therapies? Because my psychologist did not set any boundaries. They were unethical. They didn't have any boundaries, you know. They wanted to, you know, sexually exploit me, which they did. So this is why I'm coming on and doing this video and telling you that people with borderline personality, and I have it, you know, so I know because I have borderline personality disorder. We need, you know, boundaries, consistency, limit setting. We need that, you know. We need that to grow. We need that to heal. You know, this is healthy limit setting. It's healthy. It's what's needed. And it's what I never got. So I never got that growing up. And I never got that through my psychologist, through my therapist. So now I'm trying to put that on me. I'm trying to be my own therapist. I don't believe in therapy anymore because I was so badly burned. I'm trying to give myself healthy limits, healthy boundaries, you know. No, you can't drink whatever you want to do. You know, there's a limit to what you can drink. No, you can't eat. Well, you know, you could, and then you'll just, you know, get liver cancer and die, you know. No, you just can't eat whatever you want unless you want to, you know, be fat, and that's unhealthy. That's heart disease. No, you can't, you know, I have healthy boundaries in relationships. I won't let people walk all over me. I won't let people criticize me. I won't let people use me as a doormat, use me as a therapist anymore. My friends used to use me as a therapist. I'd listen to all their problems and they'd walk all over me. I now have learned healthy boundaries for myself and healthy boundaries with other people. I've learned them and it's healthy, and everyone needs to have limits. Everyone, not just children, okay? And not just patients. These are healthy limits. You need limits. Everyone needs to have limits, all right? Not just in their therapy, not just, you know, as children. We need to set healthy limits with other people, okay? What is okay? What is not okay? It's not okay for you to call me after a certain, like after 8 o'clock at night, say. You tell your friend, because, you know, I'm unwinding and I'm getting ready. I'm to go to bed. I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I work, you know, 8-9 hours a day, and unless it's an emergency or something. And your friend calls and, you know, at 9 o'clock to say, oh, I got in a big fight with my boyfriend and I'm upset. And you said, what are you going to do? You're going to listen to her? She didn't, you know, she did not adhere to your boundary. So you would, you know, you need to set that boundary and you need to keep firm with it. I told you no phone calls after 8 o'clock unless it was an emergency. And fighting with your boyfriend is not an emergency in my eyes. Bye. And if they call back, you don't answer it, okay? And if they do it again, then you end the friendship. You say, well, it doesn't look like you're respecting me, all right? This is what you need to do. This is healthy. This is limit setting is healthy for yourself. You have to set limits for yourself. You have to set limits in your relationships with other people. This is what's healthy. It isn't, I mean, it took me, it took me a very long time to realize that it's essential for good health to set boundaries, and that it's required for psychologists to set boundaries, especially with borderline personality disorder, especially with that. This is what I learned, and this is what I'm sharing with you.